Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's practice. We just have a sweet, gentle, low back practice today. So we'll be mostly on the ground. So grab a blankie, grab your mat, and we will get started very soon. I invite you guys, if you're gonna start today's practice in a comfy seat on the ground, to sit up on a blankie. That can be really nice for our pelvis, for our hips, also help us sit up nice and tall. Thank you guys all for coming today, and we will get started. So come down to the ground if that feels most comfortable to you. Find a comfortable seat of your choice. Settle in a little bit. Maybe soften the eyes or close the eyes. Maybe relax the shoulders, down your back. We'll just start by noticing our breath this morning, or whatever time of day it is for you. Notice if they're long or if they're short. Notice if there are any thoughts that come to mind. Welcome those thoughts, and then let them pass. Before we get started, like we usually do, I invite you to set a little intention for your practice. So if it's easier for you to set an intention in prayer pose, you can bring your hands to heart center. Maybe picture a word or a sentence that really resonates today with you. Nothing is coming to mind. I think my intention for this practice is awareness, to be aware of how my body moves, my low body especially, how it's feeling. Ultimately, awareness in the world. So grab that little intention. Begin to take a conscious breath in. And a conscious exhale. Awesome. So we'll begin with our Sufi grind. So inhale, we'll shine the chest forward. Exhale, we'll round through the spine, chin to chest. And typically I say you can go at your own pace, fast or slow, but I invite you today to maybe slow down the pace. Notice every articulation in the spine. Notice your muscles in your hips, your groin, your shoulders, neck, chest. Begin to tend to our low back. Awesome. We'll go the other direction now. Slow and noticing each movement. Then come back to center, come back to stillness. Inhale, we'll gently reach our hands up, and then we'll bend to one side, gently opening in the side body, reaching our knees and hips down to the ground, opening through the side body. Breathing deep into our bellies. We'll press back up to center. Inhale, we'll go the other way, arms up. Exhale, side body stretch. Reaching that hip down to lengthen the side body. Or we press back up. Awesome. We'll inhale, arms gently float to the sky. Then we'll take opposite hand to opposite knee for a gentle twist. Looking past our back shoulder. Sitting up tall on each inhale. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, we'll float the arms up again. Exhale, other side, opposite hand to opposite knee. Gentle twist. And release. Awesome. So if you are facing the way I am, I'm going to invite you to shift facing the long way on your mat. And then extending your legs out long, parallel with the mat. You're welcome to keep that blankie underneath you. Prop up your hips. So we're going to come into a nice tall seat with our feet out in front of us. Hands can come rest on your thighs, or if it feels more comfortable to be on the ground or holding onto your blanket, is an option as well. So sit up nice and tall, as tall as you can. It's okay if this is a very difficult pose for you, if you feel like you're like punching or like you have to bend your knees up super high. That is completely normal. This is a very difficult pose, even though it's so good for our low back just to sit up in this right angle. So if it helps, maybe bring your knees up off the mat, closer to you, so you can get that nice tall seat. Reach those toes up to the sky. Relax the shoulder blades. Breathe here. Awesome. So we're gonna start at our ankles and our feet, and then we're gonna work our way up. So much of our low back, the maybe discomfort, the pain that we feel is because of just misalignment or tightness in our feet and in our legs. So we'll tend to the lower body so that it can support our low back, which ultimately supports us. So we'll begin by just doing kind of like a toe point, like you're a ballerina with one foot, and then we'll bring it back up, pointing to the sky, and then we'll go the other side, point up. So inhale, exhale back to center, inhale down, exhale back to center. Then keep doing this at your own breath pace, gently and slowly. Notice all the little creaky corners, maybe of your ankles. I used to hate that my bones would crack, when you point your toe or something like that. But recently, I've come to love the sound because it's a way of our body remembering all that it's done for us. All those hikes or walks or days where we stood waiting in line for, a school bus or things like that. It's the way the body remembers everything that it's done to build who we are. So if you have some creaky, crackly ankles or legs, welcome those little memories. Welcome those little body markers of all that you are and all that your body's been through with you. Awesome. We'll go one more for each side, evening it out. Awesome. And then on your next inhale, we'll kind of bring our knees a little bit closer. Toes will still point up to the sky, but maybe a generous bend in our knee. We'll flex our toes as strong as we can. And then when you're ready, inhale, we'll reach our hands up. And then we'll bend very gently, very generously to ourselves over, having our bellies come rest on our thighs. So you're like me, you got a little baby in here too. Maybe you want to widen your stance and have your belly come rest on your knees. Hands can come rest on the ankles, the outer edge, or the inner edge of the foot. But the idea is just to lengthen through our back, having it come to rest on our thighs. Engage with the feet. Reconnect with your breath. Awesome. Then we'll roll back up to our straight back position. And then you can extend one foot out straight in front of you. And then the other one, bring your foot to plant on the ground, coming to the inner side of that thigh. And then you're gonna hold your thigh here. If this is enough for you, if you're starting to feel a nice stretch in your the back of your leg, perfect. Just stay right here. If not, you can use either your leg that's in, or you can do our kind of typical arms up, and then we will bend forward for a forward fold and go until you start to feel that stretch in the back of the leg. Notice if you're clenching in the knee, attempt to relax that. Breathe deep here. Awesome. We'll come back up to that straight back. If you'd like to take a counter twist here, you're welcome to. So the same arm that is on the side of the leg that is bent, wrap that around the leg and then open the arm that's on the straight leg side all the way back to the back edge of your mat, and then open to that open side. Sit up nice and tall, take a couple breaths. Awesome, and then we'll come back to center and we'll switch out the legs. So we'll extend the bent leg out long, bring the straight leg up to the inner part of our thigh, foot firmly planted on the ground. Again, notice how this side is different. So maybe this is enough for you, or maybe you are gonna attempt to hinge a little bit at the hips to get a deeper stretch in the back of the leg. So when you're ready, inhale, we'll reach the arms up, and then exhale, we'll bend, reaching for our foot. Remember, it's never the goal to touch our feet. If you can, that's awesome. But if your hands come to rest on your shin or your calf or your thigh, that's awesome. Breathe deep here. Awesome. And then we'll come back up to our straight back. And again, we can take a counter twist here. So arm and leg that's bent, wrap around each other, and then open on the straight leg side. You don't have to twist too far in this position. It's just a gentle opening to counteract the twist we did at the beginning of this practice. One more breath here. And then release. We'll come back to center. Awesome. So we're going to bring both our knees in, about hip width apart. Maybe walk them, 2 hands or so in front of your hips. And then we'll bring our hands behind us. And we'll lean back a little bit into those hands. But I want you, like all things in this practice, to be just mindful of how you're leaning back. So maybe notice if you're hunching like this, or if your shoulders are so close to your ears, or if your arms are bent a little bit. I invite you to maybe straighten those arms and then imagine pulling your ears and your shoulders away from each other. And then we're going to lift our toes up to the sky, and then we're going to just kind of let our knees fall to one side. Exhale back to center. Inhale, drop to the other side. And then back to center. If you notice you're scooting a little bit, that's okay. Just center yourself again, and then we'll go a couple more times, gently, just kind of windshield wipering our hips. Mindfully moving our body. We'll go one more on each side. Awesome, and then you can bring your feet flat with the ground again. And then we'll come back up to a straight back. We'll bring our feet in to touch each other and let our knees splay out to the side for a butterfly pose or a cobbler's pose. We'll wrap our hands around our feet, and then I invite you to sit up nice and tall again, letting gravity pull your hips down. Breathing deep here. Letting the crown of your head float towards the top, float towards the sky. Awesome, then we'll release. And we'll make our way down to the ground to lay on our backs. So move there in a mindful way, if whatever that means to you. So we'll come lay on our backs. Maybe you can bring your blankie as a pillow to cushion your head. And then slide one foot out long and then bring the other knee into your chest, giving it a nice hug, maybe massaging through that hip joint. And then we will cross that knee across our body for a gentle side laying stretch, side twist. Your opposite arm can come lay out long to lengthen through that twist. And then we'll come back to center, giving that knee one last hug in before we send it out long. And then we'll bring the other knee in, giving it a nice hug, massaging through that hip joint. Ooh, this definitely needs a massage for me. And then when you're ready, we'll cross that knee, cross our body, having it to come rest on the side, entering into recline twist. Maybe your opposite hand goes out to extend the twist, maybe not. And then exhale, we'll come back to center. Bring that knee into your chest for one last hug. And then you can extend that out long for Shavasana, or if you would like to give yourself one long hug together with both knees in, you're welcome to do so before we settle into our final rest. Legs can go out long, or if your low back is especially bothering you today, maybe try ending our practice with your feet out as wide as the yoga mat and then knees coming to touch each other. This can be a really supportive posture, especially for the low back. Very gentle on your back. You also may want to grab a blankie or a pillow and place that underneath your pelvis here, or you can, if you don't have any of that nearby, honestly, just putting your hands underneath just where your pelvis and your hips kind of meet and letting your arms splay, or your elbows kind of splay out to the side can be really restorative for your low back. So settle into your final resting posture. We'll let go of the breath. We'll let go of the day thus far. We'll enjoy these couple minutes of rest to ourselves. Out of your rest, begin by wiggling the toes, wiggling your fingertips. And begin to walk your feet in towards each other, and towards your body. And roll onto one side. Slowly pressing up. Awakening the body. Coming back into that comfortable seat that you started in where our journey began. I invite you to bring your hands to heart center and maybe remember that intention that you set at the beginning of this practice. It's so cool because that intention has already happened. It's already true for you. So I send you off with that truth, that whatever you intended for the day, it's already happened and it's already happening. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. The light in me bows to and honors the light in me. Namaste. Awesome, guys. Wow. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.